This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.
Hello and welcome everyone to our 219th session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'm talking to Jason Waller from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Jason is the CEO of Christie's International Real Estate Mexico Luxury Properties, leading one of the country's top teams in luxury real estate. With nearly 20 years of experience, he specialized in high-end properties across Mexico's most desirable locations, also founded guarding closing services to simplify transactions for international buyers. Today, we will talk about opportunities, challenges, and lifestyles of investing in Mexico's luxury real estate market. Jason, it's wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Your background looks fantastic. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
When you say my background, you mean my work background or my actual background?
Your actual background.
I'm Jason Waller, originally from Canada. I moved out here to the Riviera Maya 20 years ago in 2005, just before we had a big hurricane, so I didn't know what to expect. And I found that all our buildings are built out of concrete and it does't matter. And luckily, we don't get a lot of hurricanes, so it's not a big deal.
That's actually different. That's actually different than in Florida, correct? If I'm directly interrupt.
Yeah. No, yeah. Typically you have wood construction in a lot of places that deal with storms, whereas we don't have that. Everything's built out of concrete here. So, the worst thing that ever happens is a window breaks or something like that. But, we don't have a lot of concerns. You don't worry about anything really happening to your property. It freaks me out now when I travel. I go back to Canada, I go to the US or something. I see a house under construction or a building and I see it looks like it's being built out of toothpicks. And I'm just so used to the construction. Like even behind me, there's construction going on right there. You can kind of see it's all concrete going up the whole building. The interior walls, typically you have walls this thick of concrete, so you don't hear anything in the next room over. The insulation is great, keeps it cooler. And then you never worry. We're lucky on this side of Mexico. We don't get many hurricanes. In 20 years, we had the one bad one, and we've had a couple basic ones, but that's it. So they're not so bad. It's the electricity being off for the next few days after they leave, which isn't the most pleasant because it gets hot.
You started real estate very early on in your career. First question, and you have been in Playa del Carmen for around like 20 plus years. What made you move into real estate? What was your motivation first and foremost?
Well, I'm from Canada, in one of the coldest parts of Canada, so I needed to get out of there after 32, no. I don't know how long I've been here. Yeah, 32 years of living in Canada and being cold in the winter and having about 2 months of warmth and happiness. I came on vacation a couple times out here and just fell in love with the area, fell in love with the people. My daughter was 4 at the time when we moved here, so it was just a great place to raise kids. The culture here is very family oriented. Kids have freedoms here that they don't have back home per se, where they can do more. They can run free, run wild. And the neighborhood we live in, they can get in a golf cart and go cruise around the area. So it's a great place to be. And I worked at many jobs when I lived in Canada. Nothing really fit. I never really felt that was my career. And I always saw real estate as something I wanted to get into. When I watched, videos, or there wasn't really much videos back then, but when you talk to people, you saw things, you saw that people in real estate could make a lot of money. There was an opportunity there as investing in real estate. And I thought the best way to get into that would be to start selling real estate. So back when I moved out here in 2005, the whole area was brand new. It wasn't very big. There was only one street light in Playa del Carmen. And now it's a city. It's quite large. So it was easy to start a new career in something I had never done before. I didn't speak Spanish. I had no real estate experience. And within the first few months, I was a sales manager of the office I worked at. So I did that for a year. I got to really learn the business, the operations, everything. And the owner was wonderful. He helped me to eventually start my own company. So I started small, just myself. And now we've grown and recently rebranded to Christie's International Real Estate, which is a huge luxury brand worldwide. So having that as a backing is extreme for us. We're able to get these luxury listings now. We get a lot of multi-million-dollar properties that we list. It changes the game for us. We were unbranded before. We just went with our own names, and we got bigger, and we got one of the bigger companies out here. But then competition started coming. As the whole area became more and more popular, the competition grew and grew and grew, and it became much more difficult to compete without having some kind of brand. I didn't want to go with the generic regular real estate brands. I had no interest in that. It had to be something that stood out. It had to be a luxury brand. So we had the opportunity to expand out to this area, and we had a meeting with the presidents, and it went really well and worked everything out. And now our goal, we cover the whole coastline here right now. We have from Cancun all the way down the coast to right before the Belize border, a lake called Bacalar. It's a beautiful lake. They call it the Lake of Seven Colors. It's incredible. So we have agents that cover the whole strip down here. We've recently expanded to Merida and Progreso, and are in the process of expanding to Mexico City, Acapulco, soon San Miguel de Allende, Cabo San Lucas. We really, and Puerto Vallarta, we're in the works as well. We really want to expand the brand throughout Mexico and just hit all the best spots in Mexico because it's such an amazing place with so many different kinds of biomes and areas. You could be in a desert, you could be on the ocean, you could be in the mountains. There's so much to offer.
Thinking back 20 years ago, you touched upon it just very, very shortly. How was Playa del Carmen when you arrived? You said like they were almost like it was definitely more rural than it is right now.
Yeah, it was a completely different place. It was a small fishing village, to begin with, and it became one of the fastest growing cities in the world at one point. It was just booming, and so it's changed very quickly to the point now where it's a city. We've got Cancun, which was always the city everybody knew, right? That's been around for a long time. And then Playa del Carmen was relatively unknown. And now it's a bustling city, and now Tulum, it's the same thing. Tulum was a little hippie beach town, when I moved here. And now it's becoming a big city as well. They're building malls, they're building movie theaters. It's changing. Everything's changing. So it's nice because you get a mix. You've got the cities so close. We can drive to Cancun for the restaurants and shopping. We can go to Tulum and Playa for the restaurants and shopping. Or we can go to Bacalar where there's hardly anybody around. We can go to the island Holbox where it's just sand roads and you drive a golf cart everywhere you go. So you got whatever style you want. We live in an area where we're on canals and there's yachts going by and a golf course. There's so many beautiful areas out here to see.
You are focused on luxury real estate. Give us an idea of the portfolio when we talk luxury real estate in Playa del Carmen. What is the property types like? What is the price range like? So that we as an audience can get like sort of a feeling of what we're talking about when we talk Christie's in Playa del Carmen.
Well, with Christie's, the goal is to do the 400,000 US price and up. We do still have properties under that. We still operate our past company, which was Mexico Real Estate Group. So they're still branded with Christie's, but we're able to market the lower price properties. But our goal is to head for the 400,000 plus properties. A lot of our new listings are in the millions. There's just, for me, it's just more fun, right? When you go look at a $2 million villa, it's pretty special as compared to a one-bedroom condo somewhere. So, I really enjoy that. After being here for so long, that was the progression to go and look at these properties. We believe in selling a dream, right? And so that's the dream. Having a luxury property out here is beautiful. So you've got typically, our best market is either up in the couple $1 million range for the villas. You can get beachfront villas, condos in the couple $1 million range, and they've been actually going quite well because they rent very well. Typically people want to rent it when they're not there. We don't get a lot of full-time resident buyers. It's usually second home, third home, investment property, things like that. We've got some villas in Tulum for around $5 million that are incredible, and in the jungle. They're not even on the water, and they're that expensive, so they're quite spectacular. And then you can get some really nice condos for 6, 7, 800,000 on the ocean, beautiful views, nice ocean breeze, the amenities. So it's good because there's a good range of options from 400 plus and even under.
Who is the main buyer type, your psychographics? Is it international buyers? Is it local Mexicans? Is it Europeans, people from
For us,
Africa, US?
we deal mainly in international buyers. US is our number one by far. US buyers, I would say about 80% of our buyers are from the US. Canada is starting to see an uptake. We're starting to see a lot more Canadians coming up and buying. Everything is in US dollars, right? So as a Canadian, you have to pay the exchange. So as the Canadian dollar goes up, we get more Canadian buyers. And then, we do get, there's a lot of wealthy Mexicans, so we're getting a lot of them starting to look as well. And Europeans. We've seen a lot more Europeans, I would say, over the last 2 years. This is becoming, the world has changed after COVID. A lot of people realize they can work from abroad. A lot of companies realize that they don't need the overhead of these huge, office buildings. They can have the same thing with their employees working at home and coming back every now and then for meetings and whatnot. You have video meetings with internet everywhere. You can work anywhere you want and handle most of the stuff. So we get many, many people coming in from all over the world wanting to be here for, especially the winter months. A lot of people moving out here with their families now, kids in school here. The school systems are great out here. Like I said earlier, it's a great place to raise kids. It's a great place for kids and families.
When I talk about real estate in this luxury segment and we talk international buyers, probably they're so rich that they can buy cash, or even if you have the cash, you might still go for a mortgage because of tax reasons and finances whatsoever. Is there a particular way to get financing and mortgages for international buyers with a Mexican bank, or are there even US American banks financing it? Maybe even the brand Christie's helps there?
Not yet. I wish. Most buyers are cash buyers. Most buyers are getting their funds back home with second mortgages. Some have extremely high lines of credit. Some have sold property somewhere and they want to reinvest. There is financing options here, typically a lot higher than what everybody's used to, especially in the US. So, when they're used to 2, 3, 4%, whatever, and we tell them it's 12%, 10%, they're not overly interested. So we have a lot of companies now that are offering financing. I still feel we haven't hit the mark where we have somebody offering perfect financing. We don't have a lot of clients that use mortgages. They get the money from back home.
Talking about the process then. So you get a call from someone in Florida, or maybe he's already in Florida. Let's take the Winnipeg example. You get a call from someone you went to high school with, and he says, "Listen, Jason, I need a way out. I need a way out."
I try not to post too many pictures on social media just to be nice to all those people.
Here's my money. Give me something. What's the process? I guess there's something in between. And is there a pre-contract? Is there something I have to take? Also, like, I don't know, have in mind when I talk about international real estate transaction. Guide me through the process.
It's really nothing too crazy, nothing too different than most people are used to back home. The biggest difference here would be the fact that as a foreigner, you're not allowed to own any property within 50 kilometers of the beach. We have it in a trust system. So the trusts are put into a bank that are all privately owned, no government banks. They offer the trust. Your trust is renewable. You can have it for life. You can pass it on through generations, but it gives you the ability to buy property anywhere you want. Typically, most people aren't going to buy deeper in, they want to be by the water, by the coast. It's pretty much the same as most people are used to back home, except for that one small point. You come in, we've got 18 agents, so they all specialize in different areas and different things, and we'll set them up with the client. They'll talk on email, build a relationship. The clients will end up coming down here because typically most of our clients aren't here already. They're planning a trip to come down and look at real estate during their family vacation. The agent will set up some properties to see once they know what they're looking at, take them out, spend the day with them, sometimes 2 days, try not to see too much, try and narrow it down before they get down here so it doesn't get confusing. And then once they're interested, they make an offer. Once the offer is accepted, we use escrow all the time because that way everybody's protected. We don't want to give money directly into a seller's account. We want to go through an escrow account. So money is not dispersed until everything is signed and you now are the owner of the property. That way you're protected. That's one of the reasons we also open guardian closing services, because we have our own in-house. They also do outside stuff for other brokerages, but they handle most of all our sales. So we know we have a very trusted team. We know they're doing the right things. We know that everything is recorded properly with the government. The biggest difference, I guess, if you're buying something outside of your home country, is you need to have honest, trustworthy companies to work with. So you got to make sure you find a very good agent and brokerage to work with, and you want a very good lawyer to work with, because these are the people that are protecting you as you go through the whole process. And that's one of the reasons we also rebranded with Christie's, because it's such a well-known brand. People feel comfortable knowing, we're backed by thousands and thousands of other brokerages around the world. So, and now Compass is becoming part of Christie's as well, buying Christie's. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. We've got such a good, we got a good backing.
Let's dive deeper there regarding Christie's. You mentioned before, you could have chosen to become a Remax brokerage, maybe directly a Compass one, but you chose Christie's among all the others. First and foremost, for the audience who doesn't really know what Christie's actually is it a franchise?
All independently owned and operated. It's not a franchise. It's a company that we work with, and we have the backing of. So we get to use their name, their brand. They have the auction houses throughout the world. They are known as luxury. When you deal with the auction houses, with the real estate, you check out the main Christie's website, which covers all the offices around the world, and you're looking at residential properties in the hundreds of millions of dollars at the beginning. A lot of the other generic cookie cutter franchises, without insulting anybody, it didn't mean anything to me. I saw no value in rebranding my company that I built for 20 years into something if it wasn't going to give me the benefit. And with Christie's, we get the benefit. We get the wow factor. We have so many clients that we meet, on the street and whatnot, and they go, "Oh, you're in real estate. Where do you work?" And I'm like, "Well, we have the Christie's International Real Estate," and they're like, "Whoa, I didn't know Christie's in Mexico. That's awesome." I have a Christie, especially, if you get someone from Chicago where head office is or something like that, it's very well known. So it just gives us the credibility that we wanted to work in the luxury market.
You describe it as if Christie's is happy to have you, but I assume that also Christie's definitely does a qualification process. So what is it which makes you stand out among the other potential applicants saying, "I want to be actually the Christie's in Playa del Carmen"? Because I assume there are a lot of requirements in order to be able to wear this brand, correct?
Well, the fact that we've been here 20 years doesn't hurt, right? There's a couple original companies out here that have been here the whole time. I used to know every realtor in town when I first got out here. Now I have no clue because there's so many. So you've got so many new companies. It's hard for a new company to go to a company like Christie's and say, "Hey, we want to be Christie's. We've been working for a year, or we've sold 5 properties." We've got a very long track record and proven history. We've got, we were already a trusted company with a track record. So it was very helpful just to show them what we've done, what we've accomplished on our own, and what our goals are. They were very excited when we told them that our plan is to expand throughout Mexico, because it's much better for them to have a company they can work with throughout the expansions rather than trying to find new people in every area. And, you do get a lot of people that move out here for a short term and decide to become realtors and say anything to make a sale, because you can make some quick money and then get out. So you got to be very careful, who you work with. And Christie's, they had to be very careful who they work with. You can't, put your name on something that is going to hurt you in the end.
You just used one keyword, which is expansion. You already started to expand your team, and it definitely, in my opinion, always stands for the brokerage itself to expand, because it means you're not only able to acquire, but also to maintain. And it also means that you apparently are good at leadership, guiding and creating a vision, and making sure that people feel safe, but also thrive and can perform. First question, what do you think is for you one of the key ingredients which has helped you to be so successful throughout your career and grow so much?
Honesty. That hard work and honesty is really, and I whenever we hire new agents, I tell them my backstory. You know, I moved out here. I didn't speak a word of Spanish. I'm pretty good now. I had no real estate experience. You know, I moved out here and I did very well. I became quite successful just because I was honest and just because I worked hard. You know, like I said, you know, you can make some quick money out here in the real estate industry. So it's very easy for people to make a quick buck and then sit back and relax for 6 months, hang at the beach and not put any more effort into it. But they don't realize that if you're not putting constant effort into it, you know, 6 months down the line, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh crap, I don't have any new clients. I don't have anything going on. What am I going to do? So we tell all our new people, the biggest thing is you're part of our family. We treat everybody like family. Our team is our family. We all care about each other. We all help each other. It's wonderful. And you know, you have to be an honest, hardworking person. If you're not honest, we don't want you part of our team because it's very important. We're dealing with people from around the world who are scared. You know, it's nerve-wracking going and buying a property in a foreign country when you really don't know what's going on. So you need someone there that can hold your hand and help you through everything. So you've got to be, and we make friends with a lot of our buyers, a lot of our clients, because you know they're coming from a foreign place. They every time they come back out and hang out at their property, they call us to see what we're doing. And you know, our agents are now, we don't take out clients ourselves really much anymore because we've got 18 agents. So we want to make sure that they, you know, get fed. But they're all creating lifelong friendships with many of their clients, and that's a wonderful part of our job is the people you meet from all over the world. So, and that's what's great about, again, I'll go back to the kids. They get to be a part around all these people from all over the world, you know, and successful people from around the world. So you get to learn a lot from them.
How do you vet for honesty when hiring someone? Do you have a certain interview process? Does the process take longer for you?
That was the hardest for me because I did it on my own for so long. I was the only realtor in the company, right? And I hired friends, people I've known for years, parents, you know, other parents from the school where the kids are at. I would wait, you know, and just find the right fit, find somebody. And we're not looking for salespeople. You know, we're not a hard sell company. Again, it goes back to people. It's nerve-wracking buying something outside their country in a foreign country, and you don't want to pressure anybody. You want it to be nice and easy. If they want to buy something, they're going to buy, and if they don't, they don't. I tell our new agents that they are more tour guides than they are salespeople, because their job is to put together the right properties that are going to fit what these people are looking for, and then take them around and show them the area. The reason people are buying a second home out here is the area. You know, they're looking for, where can I get the best margarita? Where can I get the best tacos? Where is the best beach club to go to? So our agents will take them around, show them properties, but also show them all the amazing things in the area. Show them the cenotes. Show them, you know, what they can do on the days that they're here that are special that they can't do when they're back at home. You know, a lot of our clients come from places in the US and Canada, Europe that are cold in the winter. So they want to come out here and they want to be here for a week or two and they want to have an amazing time while they're here. So that's our job. Our job is to inform them of all the wonderful things they can do once they own a property.
Let's talk frank and honest real estate agent talk. Do you price in people who want to have a tour guide, and do you know how to qualify people? Because I have some friends in Portugal in the southern part in Algarve, and they say like, beware of the guys who just want to have a tour guide because they are just a time waster and I don't have time. So is there a way for you to vet potential clients? Say like, listen, I don't know about that.
Well, two things. First thing is we do not have a physical office in the main traffic areas because that's how you get the looky-loos, the people who just want to have a day exploring and looking at wonderful $2 million, $3 million, $4 million properties, and they have no interest in buying whatsoever. When we did have an office, it was such a time waster. So everything's done online. We talk to the people ahead of time, and nowadays it's so easy to find out who people are. You know, as soon as you have their contact and their information, you can quickly go check and see who they are, see what they do for a living, you know, see it's very easy to do an initial checkup on who these people are. And yeah, there's a lot of times that our agents will go out for the day and nothing comes of it. But maybe those people are going to buy something in a few years from now. Maybe those people have friends and they're going to say, oh my goodness, I just went to Playa del Carmen. I went and toured with Jason. we realize, we just don't have the money to buy anything, but you guys do. You should talk to Jason when you go out and check out these properties. And that happens a lot, So you treat everybody the right way. You're going to get either they're going to buy or they're going to have referrals for you, or you're going to make friends for life. It really doesn't matter.
You touched a little bit upon the topic of lifestyle and the high quality of life in Playa del Carmen. Give us an overview. Let's say I am family father. I have two daughters. I have a wife. I'm in Switzerland, and I exactly do what you said. Let's move. Let's go out. Let's change scenery. How would you describe for me in terms of livability in Playa del Carmen, safety, proximity to school systems, to kindergartens? What can I expect?
Al, there's like I said earlier, it's great for families. The kids have freedoms. We travel through Canada, the US, our kids just feel more free and safer here. They've got access to amazing schools. All the schools that we would deal with are private schools, so you pay a monthly fee. But it's nothing outrageous of comparatively. I know back home in Canada, the private schools, there's less of them. So when you go to a private school, it's very expensive. Here, it's hundreds of dollars a month, but you get high quality education. There's gated communities everywhere where you have everything you need inside. You have the school within the area, shopping, stores, and there's just so many activities for the kids to do. Because we're such a multicultural melting pot here, we have so many people that live here from all over the world. So they're all bringing cultures and ideas and things. So, we live in a gated community, and within our community, the kids can do anything. They can go surfing, they can go sailing, they can learn Muay Thai, they can do, all the regular basketball, volleyball, football. We even now have, they just built an indoor rink between Cancun and Playa del Carmen, an ice rink. So now there's hockey. So kids, I've got a friend, his kid goes once a week and plays on a team in hockey, which you wouldn't think out here. So you have endless access to anything you could think of for kids to do. So they're never bored. They can always be outside. They can always be doing things. Our 15-year-old, I can't remember the last time he played a video game. He has no interest. He's outside playing basketball every single day. He wants to be out doing things. He doesn't want to be, sitting there playing games. It's, we do get bad press, but I feel safer here than I do in Canada, the US, or anywhere I travel. I've in 20 years never once had an issue. So, the kids feel that. They feel the ability that they can go places. You can go to a restaurant and they can just take off while you're at the restaurant and go play and have fun and meet other kids and do whatever they want. You've got everything here, medical, dental. The medical is incredible here. We have such great medical care here. Our doctor is spectacular. Dental, the cost of living here is typically a lot lower than you would have in other places. So, once you get past the hurdle of buying a property, which is, the more expensive part of being here, everything else isn't too bad at all. And then you've got, sorry, I was going to say, and then you've got the airports here. You've got the airport in Tulum, the airport in Cancun, with direct flights, all over the world. We can fly to Europe direct. We can fly to Canada, US. So you've got access points to travel and do whatever you want. It's a great spot to be. I've with this company, we don't take out clients anymore. So honestly, we could live anywhere we want. We could do it from the computer and live anywhere we want. We haven't thought of anywhere we'd rather be. So we stay here.
That's a good indication. Once you don't have any fear of missing out anymore, it's a good indicator that you are doing something correctly.
Yeah, there's not much I miss. There's a couple of restaurants in Winnipeg maybe I miss, but that's about it.
You just touched upon one very important element, healthcare. Do you advise after settling? Do you advise the people then moving to Mexico to have proper healthcare and pay?
You get medical insurance when you're out here. It covers you when you travel. So, if you need to go to the hospital, you need anything special, you would pay for your regular doctor's visits, which is like $20, whatever, it's not much. But if you need something more serious, you have insurance to help cover that. If you're traveling, you're covered. My daughter was probably 5 or 6. We were in California and she fainted and hit her head, and we were in the middle of nowhere. We had to get an ambulance come and take her, and then they had to do all sorts of tests on her and stuff. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thankfully, we had the insurance that covered us when we traveled because it's insane. But yeah, you want to get health insurance here, and we've got great hospitals, great everything here to take care of all of your needs. We've had 2 kids here. I had a hernia surgery. Everything goes very well.
And this goes along the visa you get once you invested in the property, and then you get
Anybody can get health insurance. You just, you work with the company you choose. We've worked with the same girl for like 19 years. So we would get health, we have health insurance from her, life insurance, car insurance, everything we get from the same place, and they take care of everything for us.
Moving a little bit into the future and talking about your expansion plans with Chris. You just mentioned it, going basically national. How do you choose the spots? You said you want to go into the hot spots of certain places. Where do you see your company within the next couple of years?
Growing through the major spots in Mexico. Like I said, we covered the whole coast out here right now, Merida, Progreso. We want to be, we really want Cabo. That's the tough one right now because there's a lot of rules there. It's not easy to get right into there. Here it's easy to set up an office. There it's a lot harder. So we've had a lot more difficulties getting set up out there. But the market out there is crazy. There's an incredible luxury properties out there, so we really want to be out there. So I would say this year that's one of our main goals. San Miguel de Allende is another one of our main spots. It's a very popular expat, older city, beautiful place, amazing restaurants. We're looking at hopefully doing a master brokerage out there soon, which is going to put our foot in the door out there. And Puerto Vallarta, just hitting all the spots in Mexico, all the places that we would like to be and visit, and that's part of the selfish reason, because once we were there, we get to go and check things out and be there. And we went to Cabo a little while ago to check things out, and we rented Can-Ams and we're driving through the sand dunes and riding horses along a private beach down on the ocean there, and there's so many incredible places to go. So we want to expand, and so we can, a big part of it is showing everybody how amazing Mexico is and what it has to offer and how beautiful it is and what the people are like. So we really focus on not just selling real estate, but selling the country, I would say, as a whole.
And this is also for you a reason why you started your own TV show, basically launched on YouTube, Selling the Dream Mexico. Tell us a little bit about it. It's like a reality show, correct?
Yeah. We're still working out the format a little bit. We did the first episode. There's things I'm not happy with that I would like to change, make it more interesting. We did a show, we did 9 episodes last year of a different show. This one, we really want to focus more on lifestyle and just, how incredible it can be. So on the first episode, every episode, we're going to have some guest hosts coming from somewhere, someone that can come in and be part of what we're doing. So we had 2 great women from Dallas come out and be on our first episode. We took them out on a sunset cruise on a yacht. We drove a Ferrari and a Porsche around Puerto Venturas, the gated community. We took them out to a beach club. We did show them a house for sale on the beach. So we are doing some real estate, but I want to show the lifestyle, because that's what people need to see and experience. And once you see how incredible, that you can just jump on a yacht out your back door, like we could have a yacht pick us up right in our backyard here. That's pretty special. So once people see what they can have out here, I think it makes them more interested in looking at real estate.
Definitely looking forward to your next episode. Where do you see the entire market heading? Maybe even on a global scale, because you are so exposed to so many potential investors or also buyers. You have so many implicit insights from people from around the world. The Mexican market. What do you expect to happen maybe within the next couple of months or even a year?
Well, over the next year or so, definitely, Mexico is doing this from what we're seeing. Like I said earlier, with the location of Mexico, close to the US, close to Canada, it's so easy. Americans are flying out here from Texas and for a 2-hour direct flight. It's such a simple place for them to come. And if they're able to work here part-time through their companies, or, we get a lot of digital nomads traveling around, the way things are going up in Mexico, and a lot of things in other parts of the world aren't going up necessarily. I really see Mexico becoming one of the main places in the future. And, we've got everything here. We've got the coast, we've got the mountains, we've got the desert, we got it all. So I really see Mexico moving up in the real estate market over the next year or so, and definitely over the next few years.
Perfect. Jason, thank you so much for your time today. We touched upon a lot of topics, and you gave us a very interesting insight regarding Playa del Carmen in general, your career. Why did you choose to leave Winnipeg in the first place and jump into real estate?
Sitting outside right now, and I'm not cold.
You gave us a very interesting insight, also an overview of Playa del Carmen. You allowed us to understand the buying process, the ease, basically, also, especially also from a real estate or international real estate investor side. You showed us the advantages of working with Christie's and the luxury real estate there, and what the brand stands for. You also allowed us to understand a little bit the expansion plans of your company, but also what you expect the market to be like in a couple of years, or even like within a couple of months. And in between, I really appreciate that you showed us how nice it is to live there, and how easy it is, basically, and how
life is good.
How good your life is. What is something you would like to share with the audience which we haven't touched upon?
My main thing would just be repeating. You're just talking about, how amazing Mexico is as a whole, and the people and the country, and how everybody is so family oriented. And, it's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to live. There's not a whole lot of negatives of being here.
Perfect. How can people reach out to you if they are now interested to work with you?
I guess just visiting our website. I'm sure you'll have a link to our website there. I don't know if you want to include my email address, things like that, but we're easy to find. We're the only Christie's in Mexico.
Perfect. I definitely will do so. Jason, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the lovely day, and don't get sunburned, I would say.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a really good day.
Sending a good big hug and the best regards to Playa del Carmen. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.